So this morning I wanted to show everyone the Elecampane flowers that's finally bloomed, and it's very exciting to me because I planted these 2 years ago, and this is the first summer that it's finally flowered. And Elecampane is the English term for it. In Chinese medicine, we call the flower Xuan Fu Hua. And Xuan Fu Hua is a really unique and powerful herb in Chinese medicine. It's a lower grade herb, and it has this unique property of being salty as well as being a flower, which is not usually paired together. So it's kind of salty, bitter, cool. It's known to send the qi, especially in the chest. In the commentary by famous Dr. Chen Shoyan, he said that the qi and flavor of Xuan Fu Hua are salty, warm, and slightly toxic. It governs bound qi, fullness below the rib sides, and fright palpitations. It eliminates water, expels cold and heat from between the five viscera, supplements the center, and boosts the qi. So you can see what's unique about this flower. It's gigantic. This thing is probably 7 feet tall. And I had another one over here that fell over, so we'll be able to see it because we just had a bunch of rain. So it's another name for it is the metal coin chrysanthemum. So it has some aspects that kind of look like a chrysanthemum, but as a flower, you can see it starts out in this, where's this thing? It's kind of like this hard, like geometric shape, and it's like that for a while. So at first you're kind of like, is this even going to turn into a flower? Because it has this kind of geometric hard shape. And then eventually you can see it starts to pop open, and it goes from being that kind of flat geometric shape, this is blurry, to then the yellow little petals start to come out, and then it turns out into this kind of bright sunflower. And I've been harvesting these to dry them, and because when you find it in the herb shop, it just looks like this dried yellow flower, so you don't really get the sense of the plant itself and how it does have this, you know, we kind of call like a metallic quality to it. Like the plant itself is super structured. Let me see if I can find the right angle for it, where it has these leaves that are in threes. You can kind of see it here. So you can see how the leaf structure, it's got these 3 leaves that are, you know, kind of creating a triangle, but at varied spacings between each other. So you can kind of see it. Let me see if I pull this one down a little bit. Because if you look at it like from the top down, you can see that there's kind of 3, kind of a triangle of 3, then it rotates another triangle of 3, then it rotates another triangle of 3, and that same kind of patterning continues on the whole plant. So even on this like small one here, you can kind of see it's like 1, 2, 3. And so it has this kind of geometric rotating triangular structure to the way that the leaves come out. And the bees really like it. I don't know if you can see a couple of them there. But anyway, so in Chinese medicine we use the flowers, and in Western herbal medicine they use the roots a lot as a kind of bitter, acrid, descending the lung qi. It's used a lot for coughing in Western herbalism. There's a lot of ladybugs. The ladybugs go crazy for this thing. I keep finding them over there. But so back to Chen Shoyan, just to give you a little more information from his commentary on Xuan Fu Hua. He says the qi is warm, which inherits the qi of wind and governs dispersion. Xuan Fu Hua's flavor is salty, which is why the water flavor, which is salty, that precipitates with moistness and softens hardness. The flavor dominates that of the qi. So therefore, the flavor is the main characteristic of Xuan Fu Hua, which is that it softens hardness, and therefore the bound qi, fullness below the rib sides, and symptoms of this kind can all be resolved by Xuan Fu Hua. So it precipitates by moistening, and therefore the detained water, fright palpitations, and also cold and heat produced by depression, stagnation of the 5 viscera, and symptoms of this kind are all resolved. So it has this unique property of having this salty flavor, which allows it to dissolve these nodules and hardness, which is not something you typically find in a flower. Usually that's reserved for minerals and things like that. And so because it's a flower and has that light quality, it's able to dissolve hardness and things in the upper part of the body and regulate water in that way. So that is Xuan Fu Hua. I'm in the process of drying it, so hopefully I'll be able to compare mine to the store-bought one and see what the different flavors are. But you can see also just how beautiful the flowers are when they come up in these very, like I said, the best word I have is like geometric, but there's a whole bunch of them that kind of grow in this way where they rotate in groups of 3 around the stem in this kind of swirling pattern. Okay, so that's Xuan Fu Hua.